starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing. Good morning, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you so much for joining me today. Glad you could be here. Missed you yesterday, but we're back again, continuing with our school-themed books. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Story Time. I hope that you are well wherever you are. If you do have a copy of our book today, I know, Luna, you do. I hope that you grab it and read along with us. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. Absolutely appreciate this opportunity that we get to spend time here together, and of course read books, enjoy books, get lost in the wonderful worlds that they present. Thank you so much for joining us here today. As always, please let us know where you're joining in from, and if anybody else is joining in with you, well, let us know so we can say hi to them as well. Thank you indeed for joining us today, and I hope that everybody that is rolling back into school, getting back into school, that everything is going well. Out here in Oakland Unified, we've been back in school 2 days. Day 3 is coming right up. After this story time, of course. And then I know some school districts went back yesterday. San Mateo is going back today. So yeah, as you go back to school, wishing everybody the very best. Everybody involved with the schools, especially our students, right? Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. We bring back another exciting book, a classic. It's becoming this one coming to us from Sendy Santamaria, and written and illustrated by Sendy Santamaria, and we're reading it with permission of the publishers, Chronicle Books of San Francisco, Yeneby's Drive to School. And you can also find the Spanish version of this one as well. So get to enjoy it. Find it where you find books. Thank you so much for joining us here on Storytime. What's your local bookstore? Ask them, see if they have it. If you're out here in the Bay, Marcus Books is a good one to go to. And of course, you can also go to Mrs. Dalloway's. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you and cannot wait to go into this one. Thank you indeed. What are you up to? Hope everything is going well. Hope you had a restful weekend. Hope you had a restful night, and of course wishing you an even better day today. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. We'll be right back after this break to dive into our story. Yeneby's Drive to School coming right up. Get ready for this one. Sendy Santamaria in conjunction with Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Thank you indeed for being here. I will see you on the other side of this very short break.
Hello. I'm Olalu Oganyemi, officer in the United States Marine Corps and author of Crow from the Shadow. You are tuned in with my brother on Storytime with Mr. Limata. Enjoy, and God bless.
Welcome back indeed. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready for a wonderful book. I hope you're ready for some broken Spanish. Yes, I'm here for it. We're ready. I know people out there with great Spanish who will be looking at me and be like, what are you doing? But we're here. We're here to try, and let's give it a go. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Sendy Santamaria, yes. Bringing us this one, and of course, it is called Yeneby's Drive to School. And we're reading this one with permission of the publishers, Chronicle Books of San Francisco. And I must say, too, apologies to those of you that have been tuning in on Facebook, because I know our account had not been reconnected. I had not realized that part. So made sure we were reconnected and good and running. So if there have been hiccups on Facebook and you missed an episode or two, apologies for that, but we're back streaming live. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. Here we go. Yeneby's Drive to School. Written and illustrated by Sendy Santamaria. And we're reading this one with permission of the publishers, Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Yeah. Of course, starts off with Spanish right away, right? Ya levántese. Did I get that right? Yes, get up now. It's 4 in the morning. Mama's voice makes my ears happier than an alarm clock ever could. Aw. I nudge Melanie, but she groans and turns the other way. So I get both of us ready. Oh, just talking about that is making me yawn. I want to go back to bed. I nudge Melanie, but she groans and turns the other way. So I get both of us ready. I double knot my sneakers. I brush my teeth. I pack my backpack. I pack my sisters too. Even when I was prepping for this line, it reminded me I had a student, it's actually in 6th grade now. He used to say my pack for backpack, my pack. So reading this line makes me think of him. Hope you're good, JCN. I pack my backpack. I pack my sisters too. We're both half asleep, but we are ready to go. Yeah. Mommy shouts from the car. She always says we're going to be late. Hurry up. Se nos va a tarde. Don't laugh at my Spanish. We're going to be late. Mommy shouts from the car. She always says we're going to be late. To hurry us up. Hurry up, slowpoke, Melanie teases. She waddles out of the door with the blanket and backpack, and I grab the keys from the entry table to lock up. What's your journey like to school? When we get on the road every morning, I confront my arch enemy, La Linea. Oh, yeah. Oh, that traffic. You know who's happy they're not dealing with traffic right now? Me. When we get on the road every morning, I confront my arch enemy, La Linea. Yeah, the line. By the looks of it, we will be here a couple hours guaranteed. Melanie's rolled into a ball like a sleeping cat as usual. I bet you a tamal will cross in 2 hours, I say. Mami chuckles. Yo te apuesto que lo hacemos en 3 hours. En 3 horas. 3 hours, I laugh. No way. No way. Adorned With artisanias, vendors walk between the lanes of cars. One man sells hats from his head, and necklaces from his arms. It's so skillful how they do that, right? Holding all that merchandise, holding all those artifacts. From my car window, I can buy burritos, pastries, anything my tummy desires. Grrr. My tummy's growl interrupts my train of thought. Thinking about food always makes me really hungry. Now I'm getting hungry. Yeah, from my car window, I can buy burritos, pastries, anything my tummy desires. My tummy's growl interrupts my train of thought. Thinking about food always makes me really hungry. My mom looks back at us. Hora de desayuna. Time for breakfast. At least I remember what it means. Time for breakfast. Melanie immediately wakes up. See, breakfast, please, she says, yawning. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. I can choose anything from avena to tacos al vapor, burritos to pan dulce tamales. Every day I see a new food I've never tried before. I always have enough time to make up my mind because the cars are moving so slowly next to the vending carts. Time for breakfast. Yeah. I spot the tamale cart 5 cars in front of us. My mouth is already watering. Can you get me a chicken tamale, please? I asked Mommy. Me too, Mommy, Melanie says. También de pollo and una avena. Pretty please. My mom rolls down her window and calls for the tamale man. Tres de pollo, por favor. Y una avena, un café. Un café? Un café. Don't laugh. He gives her a nod and, without writing anything down, is already back with our order. I'm hungry just talking about that food. I want food too. I want coffee. Gracias, the three of us say in sync. Mommy passes us our food and takes a whiff of her coffee. Nada como un cafecito en la mañana. She always says music and coffee is the best way to wake up. So when she takes her first sip and starts to hum, I know she's happy. Banda music and the smell of chicken tamales fill the car. Melanie sways to the sound of the accordion as she breaks down her tamal. Within 5 minutes, her tamal is swallowed and she's back asleep. Way to go, Melanie. Yeah. We are getting close now. Yeah, Cassie, Mommy warns. Get ready, get ready. I take my last bite just as the sun darts out from behind the clouds. A border patrol agent in uniform and a German shepherd pass by our window. By this time, or by this point, there are agents instead of vendors. In the windows of the cars near ours are kids just like me and Melanie. Some are asleep. Some are doing homework or drawing. 1 is looking right at me. Look, mama, same as us. Sí, mi amor, igualitas. Yeah. Look, mommy, same as us. Sí, mi amor, igualitas. Melanie, wake up, I say. I am awake, she tells me, fighting to keep her eyes open. I am extra gentle as I pull my hairbrush through her hair. My mom takes one last gulp of her coffee, and gets our documents ready. Listas derechitas. Yes, lists, right? Melanie and I exaggerate our postures and try to keep straight faces. Mommy gives us a look from the rearview mirror. It's our turn now. Yeah. The agent reaches out his hand. Anything to declare? They always sound so stern. I agree. No, officer, she says, handing him the documents. He glances past my mom, and I give him an awkward smile as he identifies us. Then he hands my mom the papers and signals us to go. We wait patiently as Mama drives past the agent and speed bumps to celebrate. Ya cruzamos! Mommy cries, energized. Woohoo! Melanie cheers. Yeah. I check the time. It's 7, I say. We're on schedule. Now I feel like I can rest. I roll my window down to let the air brush against my face. The sun is beaming at this hour. Melanie sits up to watch the world flashing by with me. After a short drive, we finally arrive at school. Melanie is eager to run to her friends as soon as the car stops. Oi, se te olvido algo. Yes, you're forgetting something, Mommy reminds her. Melanie rolls her eyes, then kisses Mommy goodbye. Love you, Mamita. Love you too, Mom, I butt in. She signals me to kiss her cheek too, then waves goodbye and drives away. Meet you by the blue tables, Melanie. Meet you by the blue tables, Melanie asks. Yeah, see you after school, I say. Have a good day, sister. You too. Love you, she shouts as she runs off. I sling on my backpack and head to class. I am now fully awake and ready for the day. Estoy lista. I'm ready. Yeah. Bring it on. Yeah. I'm now fully awake and ready for the day. And that is the end of our story. After the short break, we'll come back and read a very powerful author's note from Sendy Santamaria. So stay tuned. Join me after this short break for our author's note. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Davis. I'm a children's book author, illustrator, and high school art educator. I am the author of 30,000 Stitches, the inspiring story of the National 9/11 flag, illustrated by Sally Warren Comport and published with Worthy Kids # book group. One thing that drew me to writing 30,000 Stitches was the idea that people from all different communities came out to stitch this flag and make it whole again. So I hope that when people read 30,000 Stitches, they remember the power of sharing our stories. When people came out to stitch the flag, they shared their stories, whether about loss or pain or love, We all have stories to tell, and by sharing our stories and listening to one another's stories, we can create a better understanding of each other and create a sense of connection and unity. And this is what creates a more inclusive world. I hope you enjoy your story time with Mr. Limata. Bye, everybody.
Welcome back indeed. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime, and Amanda Davis, of course, bringing us many amazing books and encouraging us to tell our stories. And I think that's exactly what the author, Sendy Santamaria, the author of this wonderful book we read today, Yeneby's Drive to School, is telling us. She's telling her story. Well, let's listen to her author's note for the inspiration of this book and to learn a little bit more about Sendy Santamaria. And here it goes. I have been carrying the story of this book in my heart for as long as I can remember. I was inspired to write it when I first moved away from home to attend college. A professor asked us to think of a story to share that we thought would resonate with young people. Home was my first thought and my last. I realized that the word home had never meant a specific place for me. My family moved frequently, and being Mexican American in a border city meant having family and roots on both sides of the border. It often felt like home was always around me, but never somewhere tangible. I always felt out of place, but it was the moments of waiting, of being in between both countries that felt like home. The border population between the cities of San Diego and Tijuana is vast and growing. Countless people get up every morning at the crack of dawn in order to cross the border and chase the day. The story I share here talks about that moment in transit. Sometimes we crossed by car, other times on foot. If we were lucky, we could cross that border in 1 hour. On particularly busy days, On particularly buzzing days, it could take up to 4 hours. But in a strange way, I was thankful for that line we waited in. La Linea gave me patience, community, and perseverance. La Linea is one of those places where people become a collective. Some struggle to provide for their families and cross the border to achieve that end. Others carry the wound of separation from their families and cross it to keep those families together. La Linea is a place where pain, love, heartbreak, spirit, and joy coexist many times over. Borders are created by people. They are unnatural constructs that seek to divide. Let us take the inspiration from the natural world, from the cooing pigeons that traverse these artificial borders alongside us. Let us have empathy for each other in order to fly as high as we wish. Thank you for reading, and I hope you enjoyed this story. Con amor, Sendy. Powerful, isn't it? Thank you so much, Sendy Santamaria, for the book, and of course the author's note as well, giving us a little more insight and just giving us something to think about, right? Something to think about, and hopefully today we dive deeper, a little bit deeper into that, and think of those border communities, think of this constructs that are the borders and how we treat each other. So I hope that indeed we continue to learn about each other, we continue to hear people's stories and get a little more understanding, and of course show a lot more care. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime, Yeneby's Drive to School, written and illustrated by Sendy Santamaria, and indeed a beautiful story. Thank you so much for joining us here today, and trust me, this one will be back on Storytime many times over. I hope that you are well. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Chris Mitchell Adams, good to see you here on Storytime. Bowden, I hope that you're doing well out there in Vermont. Thank you so much for joining us here today. You say, I love this one. No, Chrissy, you're supposed to say, I love your Spanish first and then the book, right? Because I was excellent with that Spanish. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Absolutely appreciate you. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Good to see you here on Storytime. And yeah, always a big hug to you, Bowden. I hope that you are well. I hope that everything is going well. Yes, now there we go. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining in. Boys at school. but home next week. Tuning. Oh yes, I hope he does, and I hope to see him. Thank you so much for joining in, and I hope that school is going well. Yes. Now I'm just thinking of the ice cream next there. Thank you so much for joining us here on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you, and yeah, I hope that everything is going well. Good to see you here on Storytime. Thank you indeed for joining in. To everybody else that is here with us, whether you're joining us live right now or indeed joining us later on for the recordings, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time and choosing Storytime. Please let us know if there are books that you'd like to see here, and I'll do my very best to try and get them here to you on Storytime. And of course, too, remember this week the theme is school, and we'll be back with another exciting book tomorrow. I'm just realizing right now that I left my this week's books collection of books in the other room, so I cannot show you what we're reading tomorrow, but trust me, we'll be back with another exciting story, another school themed book, and another one that will inform us, educate us, of course, and entertain. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Storytime. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. This has been Storytime for today. Happy Wednesday to each and every one of you, and of course the biggest of hugs coming from Storytime from out here in Oakland, California. I hope that you are well wherever you are today. Thank you for joining in, and I'll see you tomorrow for more story time. Bye-bye.
Story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing. Some people who look like me, others very different from the way that I look and think. Read me all of the stories. Read me all of the stories. Some stories from far away, others right here in my neighborhood. Story time. Ooh. Story time. Story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh. Story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh. He brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing.